So it's holiday week between Christmas and New Year's, but people still do things in the state capitol and talk about things and have hearings. And if you don't watch closely, you could be burned in January. When there's John Spiros of Marshfield, a Republican in the Assembly, wants to change the workers' comp laws in the state of Wisconsin. Thinks there could be too much fraud. People really didn't get injured on the job after all. They pick special doctors who will sign forms that aren't legit, whatever the fears are. And we've seen abuses and duty disability awards for people who work for the state. I've covered this as a reporter. There was a corrections department employee, a former guard, who had a bad back and later was awarded duty disability, $1,800 a month for life. Well, his neighbors saw him clearing a whole forest with a chainsaw and throwing the branches on the back of a truck, and they called their representative and they wanted to change the law to have a checkup every 3 years to make sure the person really had a bad back. Well, that didn't even make it out of committee. And we can argue all we want about the public workers, but in terms of the private sector, we have a workers' comp plan now that's worked since 1911. If you have 37 employees and you pay $3,600 a year for workers' comp insurance, that's better than tens of thousands through the courts. And we could also abuse it the other way. You pick the company doctor that doesn't do a fair evaluation. I mean, there's some changes, maybe some tweaks. If the person has a chronic illness, maybe tell the employer that before he or she takes the job. Something on the surface like that wouldn't hurt the foundation of workers' comp. But we have a system that's worked pretty well all these years. If we go back to the old system where it's up to the courts, or it's up to the company to squash the employees' rights through a corrupt process, that's no good. Of all the things we want to change, workers' comp in the system in Wisconsin as we know it has worked pretty well. I would be very careful and tread very lightly before you made major changes. This piece of advice for the new year, my 2 cents. My 2 minutes are brought to you by Edge Construction and Capital Consultants. Bill McCoshen, a lobbyist who worked for Tommy, gets things done downtown. We can talk about this and more on the radio tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock on 92.1 FM The Mic, The Mitch Henck Show. Talk to you then.